to the officers, we have with us today Colonel Kochhar. Sir is an ex-NDA, the 87th Regular Course, 77 Echo Squadron. He served with the Corps of Signals, has a corporate experience, and is also a career coach. For those of you who don't know, Colonel Kochhar has his own YouTube channel by the name of Career Coach, wherein he advises corporates and students in developing their career in various fields. So, any of you who wishes to seek his advice, you can reach out to him. Today, Sir has put together a discourse on as to how armed forces experience can be aligned or expressed in a manner so that it becomes synonymous to what the HR in the corporate is looking for, or the HR functional role in the corporate is. So, with that introduction, I welcome Manish for today's talk. And my first question to you would be, sir, as to how are the different functional roles broadly classified in the corporates?
बिल्कुल तुम्हारे सामने आते ही ना मुझे थोड़ा सा डर लगने लग जाता है पता नहीं क्या पूछ लोगे फंक्शन रोल्स तो विपुल कॉर्पोरेट में आई थिंक एवरीवन शुड बी अवेयर it is you have sales, marketing, business development. Now this revenue generating or revenue assurance kind of streams may have further sub divisions like pre-sales, etc. Then you have finance, accounts, then logistics, supply chain. Then you are at the management level, you may have strategy. And if you are a product oriented company, then you may have product design, R&D. So these are broadly the functional roles, and HR, of course. How can one of the most important functions.
Okay.
So these are broadly the function roles which are there.
And how are the functional roles in armed forces classified, sir? And if I want to understand it, if there's a apple to apple comparison to be made.
Function roles in armed forces. So armed forces, it's very broad actually. You have combat arms, then you have combat support arms, then you have services. The roles are requirement based. For example, an infantry officer can be in the A branch, and a sapper officer or ASC officer can be the G branch also, or Q branch. So it's actually role based till the time you are in. I mean, when you are in units, of course, then it is specialized. An armored officer in an armored unit will be in a specialized role. But when you have when you move beyond, when you go for staff commandments and all, it is just the requirement based this thing. So in armed forces, it can be a generalist kind of a thing. You are jack of all trades. I can be the BM, being a signal officer. I was given ops, and then for roles there are roles which can be tenured by everyone.
Mm-hmm.
While a person who is from a combat support arm or from services can be in a role which is directly affecting the combat operations. And similarly, a combat officer, combat arm officer can be in a role which is more administration oriented or logistics oriented, Colonel Q, for example, or AQ, DQ. We don't say head HR. We don't say I'm the head HR of a unit, or I'm the CEO of a army establishment. We are like, I'm Colonel Manish Kochhar. I'm Major so and so. I'm so and so from armored. I'm so and so from signals. but it is mainly rank, and that creates a kind of a confusion sometimes for the outside world, for the corporates. I I hope I'm able to I'm making sense. I hope you get what I'm trying to say. It's kind of a very broad base. We are not able to tell actually what we do.
सर, इसको आप अगर ऐसा माने, अगर हम ये माने कि आर्मी इज अ कॉर्पोरेट, देन हाउ वुड यू redefine the ranks? Instead of saying armed forces, if it was a corporate, then इसको
Mhm.
हम कैसे डिफाइन करें?
Well, if you say armed forces as corporate, so actually our scale is so massive, Vipul, that uh, drawing an exact parallel would be very, very difficult. You know, but just to answer very broadly, because you asked, uh, so you can say, and I would keep my answer to level of a battalion only, because most of the officers who attend this value talks are generally colonels and below, generally. So I would just, for example, I would answer that a CEO can be the CEO or COO, and a lieutenant colonel or a 2IC can be the deputy CEO or a chief training officer. Quartermaster can be the head of logistics, and so on. Since the scale is massive and there are so many overlapping roles and responsibilities, it's difficult to draw an exact parallel. But we, in our various tenures, have done so many duties. We have tenanted so many appointments uh, that somewhere we all have done administrative duties, we have done operational duties, we have done logistics duties, uh, and the art is to get that thing in your narrative when you are telling your story to the corporate.
Okay. तो सर, जो आज की जो डिस्कशन है, टॉपिक है कि एचआर व्हाट इज ब्रॉडली कवर्ड अंडर कॉर्पोरेट एचआर, वो लोग क्या करते हैं?
Well, broadly, the corporate HR is HR professional. They are responsible for basically maintaining and managing the human capital of the organization, the entire human resource. They typically handle uh, overall hiring process. First of all, they identify in line with the business, in consultation with the business, uh, what is the requirement of the manpower. Then they handle the overall hiring process, recruitment, interviews, onboarding, conflict resolution, organization's relationship with its employees, uh, then socially driven training events, manage payrolls, benefits, compensation, rewards, discipline, and HR may have many, sub verticals or under them, like learning and development, security, admin, besides their core HR verticals. So basically, they ensure the business continuity by managing the uh, human resource capital of the company. And they also, uh, they are the bridge between the aspirations of the management and the employees. Employees' aspirations are also taken care of, and similarly, the business goals are also aligned accordingly. So now it is, HR has evolved into a very value producing and strategically vital business role, function. It is a growth field. Uh, Sometime back, HR was not given that kind of an importance. It used to be, people used to view it as a very soft function. Not anymore. HR is very, very important with the kind of attrition the corporate is seeing. It's very difficult to keep the employees happy. It's very difficult to. It's an art to get the right man for the right job, hunt for the right talent, get them onboarded, and then while extracting the work out of them, keep their career path also in mind and provide them career opportunities. So it's all under HR. And I think it is generally very appealing to veterans and particularly officers, uh, because it's one function where you can actually make a difference at the strategic level. This is what I feel. Yeah.
हम्म। तो सर इसमें अब ये एक सवाल ये होता है कि हम फौज में तो इसको एचआर नाम नहीं देते हैं, वी डू नॉट हैव अ एचआर डेडिकेटेड फंक्शनल रोल नेम एज सच। सो आर्म फोर्सेस में इसको क्या कहते हैं, विच डिपार्टमेंट और विच पर्टिकुलर hierarchy is taking care of HR in army? How do we say that this is the army का HR और say armed forces का HR?
वेल आई मीन, ऐसा नहीं है कि मतलब एचआर, हाँ हम एचआर नहीं बोलते हैं, इज अ डिफरेंट थिंग, बट at unit level, anybody who's dealing with training, uh, anybody who's dealing with discipline, compliances, regulations, people. So and almost everybody is dealing with people there. You're managing people there. You're people's manager. So all kind of HR functions actually you are doing. They may not be exactly parallel, exactly similar to what corporates do. You may not be handling compensation because it is already fixed, and benefits. But otherwise, all aspects of HR you are handling. MS branch is specializing. MS branch is doing the workforce management for officers, as well as the personal department is doing uh, the a workforce management planning for JCOs and ORs, and similarly, persons below officer ranks in other services, other armed forces services. You have adjutant general's branch. So the challenge is, first of all, we have to understand that we have done HR function in our tenures. So we have two kind of, people. We have two kind of officers I have generally been coming across. One who think they have done everything in HR, so their cup is already full. They are not ready to learn anything new. And those who have a view that we don't know anything about HR from corporate point of view. So it's quite a dichotomy that we have extreme views within our own organization. So what will you say about corporate? Of course, they will also have the confusion. So AG's branch, MS branch, your own adjutant, your company commander. At any point of time, we have done many HR functions. It may not be exactly same, but we have managed people, and that is the human resource capital.
So आप जो बता रहे हैं कि A function adjutant, AG branch, MS branch, this is the armed forces HR. When we, if we want to draw a parallel, then almost the relevant branch would be the AG MS branch, and then down below जो भी उनकी functionalities है right up till the unit adjutant.
Even company commander is also doing HR function. Yes, you're right. A branch is dealing with many aspects of HR, but so is the company commander. So is the CO of a battalion. Anybody who's dealing with people, and if he's responsible for those people, if he's looking after the training aspects of those people, if he's looking after the discipline aspects, if he's looking after the career aspects of people under him or her, so you are dealing with HR.
Okay. So how would I write it in my resume or in my interview so that I'm able to present it in a way that the corporate understands that, my resume gets me a call for a HR position, and I'm able to explain the roles I have done in my uniform career, which are relevant and work in close synchronization to the
So,
HR.
so You see, first of all, and that was the aim for this talk. First of all, we have to understand what the corporate HR does, right? And what are the similarities between corporate HR and what all common points are there which we have done in our career in armed forces. What are those common points, areas of overlap? So what are the areas which are mutually exclusive? I mean, which are not overlapping. There may be something, like IR and compliance, legal, etc. We may not have handled. So those are the places, those are the things which we have to keep in mind. The first thing which we have to do is that you have to read the job description. And at the cost of sounding boring and repetitive, I have been emphasizing this, that you have to read the job description and see what the hiring manager wants. So once if you know what the hiring manager wants, and then try and see whether in some form have we done that or not. For example, uh, if you have been part of SSB, if you were a GT or something, so you have been part of selection, screening, recruiting. Even if you were part of, if you have been in ZRO, or if you were in centers, so you have done recruiting, you have done talent management, you have conducted recruitment rallies. If you have been uh, in staff appointment, and if you've done some management, workforce planning for the cadre, some cadre, then you have done that manpower planning. Now you have to only put it in the language which the hiring manager understands. If you are instructor somewhere, instructional tenures you have done, you have conducted promotion cadres, yearly trainings, training camps. So then you have to mention all these things, but don't write a history. So just in very clear, concise manner, you have to tell them that you have learning and development experience. How many people were in that training? What did you do? Did you design the curriculum? Did you design uh, the scheduling, selection of uh, candidates, etc., etc.? What all you did? Syllabus designing, you know, uh, dividing them into cohorts, didactics, etc. So all those things, it should bring out that you have the learning and development experience. So then in discipline, if you have done adjutant, then you have dealt with disciplinary things. You have uh, made standard operating procedures for various things related to how the uh, promotion cadres will be held, how various other HR related matters will be handled. So read the job description, draw out a parallel, and then try and put your experience into a simple language. But if you say that I was instructor in JC course, I as a hiring manager may not understand what is that. But if you say that you were head of training and imparted training to 250 officers, young officers, in so and so, making them into good leaders or whatever English you can use. But if you are trying to, if you give the metrics, you remember, Vipul, we had uh, given a clear formula in our master CV class, action bullets, metrics, accomplishment driven bullets. So there was a formula there. So you put those things as per that formula, so that the hiring manager understands that he was involved in development for training of so many officers. The training was so and so, and it resulted in such and such thing. So that is how you have to put your experience of uh, army related HR into the corporate parlance.
Is there any lateral route for human resources functional jobs? Can I do something to have a lateral route for HR jobs in the corporate?
Before that, there is another thing, HR also has security. Generally, HR head in most of the organizations, administration, admin, and security also forms part of HR, under HR. So one should also mention that you have dealt with security and this and that, safekeeping. We have been, especially in armed forces, we are dealing with so many sensitive documents and uh, arms, ammunition, equipment, etc. So safety of workplace, that is another very important aspect of an HR profession, ensuring ethical and safe work environment.
Mhm.
So lateral route, yes. Uh, what happens is that for an officer who's in his 30s and he is planning a transition and he does an MBA in HR, it's a very straightforward. I don't think there should be any problem in making a career in HR for this. For if you're in 30s and you have done MBA in HR from a good institution, preferably, there's no problem. You will be definitely absorbed. But if you have not done MBA HR, and but then there are certifications, there are short courses, you can arm yourself with that, and even then you can be. But the thing is, when age is not in your side and you are on the uh, you are in little higher bracket, say uh, 45 and above, 50, and that is the time when you want to get into HR and you have not done MBA, etc. Then it becomes little challenging, but not impossible. That is a time when you can actually join corporate sector in a role which suits you, which is of interest to you. Be in that organization, observe the HR function, and if you find that this is still of interest to you, then upskill yourself, talk to your HR head, request him to be your mentor. Even if you don't request him to be your mentor, you can just observe, see what is trending. In today's world, HR is changing very fast. There is HR analytics, compliances, regulatory affairs, diversity, inclusion, so many things which are trending these days. See what is the trend, upskill yourself, get certifications under your belt, and then try for lateral absorption, preferably in the same company. And if not, then in the other company, because by now you have understood the HR function and what all things are required. So that is a very effective route, and I have seen many people doing this, taking this route, a lateral shift into HR. Join the because for an officer of 50 years of age, going directly into HR in a very good organization may not be at the right level, because there are so many people who have gained the experience in the HR domain uh, in the same organization and have much relevant experience. So for these kind of officers, lateral route is very, very effective.
Sir, आपने एक दो अभी mention किया courses also, and then you said keep maybe upskill and all. As a last question from my side for day, would you be able to suggest some courses which can help someone transit into human resources professional or human resources
People
manager?
are not a HR professional per se, but there are first is an obvious route, MBA HR from a premium institute, which is the most preferred route, I would say. Otherwise, then there are then short courses, diploma. XLRI is offering one. IIMs are offering. IIM Kozhikode is offering. Then I hope it is pronounced as Kozhikode. Is it? What? Sorry if it's not pronounced this way. Uh, then IIT Roorkee offers a HR analytics course. It's again a short 3-4 months course, I think. And then eCornell University offers a human resource certification. Wharton also offers, and then you have labor law and statutory compliance course from NPTEL. It's a free course. You can Google Swayam, 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 and you will find many free courses. In fact, under this, it's by government only. Uh, and then you have many other certifications. You have a Certified Professional Society of Human Resource Management. SHRM is the one. You should Google SHRM, and you'll find. Then you have Certified Payroll uh, certification by KPMG. In my previous organization, the HR manager who was there, she was a KPMG certified in payroll professional, so that's how I recall. And then you have a very good course from ISTD, Indian Society of Training and Development, I think, which is Diploma in Training and Development. That is again a very acceptable course in the industry. Uh, people who are having interest in training and development, especially. Then Wharton also offers a specialized course in for managing human capital in retail business. So, I mean, there's so many, but you can Google. There's so many of them. Uh, Identify what you want to do. Get 2, 3 this thing under your belt if you are actually eyeing the HR domain as your career.
Right, sir. Thank you so much, sir. As far as I am concerned, my questions are done.
You gotta focus on yourself, on your faith, on your dreams, on your mind, on your health, yeah. You gotta work, never tell, keep your head down.